What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of The Real Movie Guys. Real guys, real movies, real thoughts. My name's Kevin,
And I'm John.
and today we're reviewing Bad Boys for Life. Martin Lawrence and Will Smith are back after a ridiculously long hiatus. They're going to confront some new issues in this action movie. They'll be confronting a drug lord of a mother and son, their careers ending for the first time, feeling their old age. Now, John, what did you think? Were you excited for this movie when it was announced, or were you hesitant, or what were your thoughts?
I was hesitant going into it. I wasn't like really excited going into it. It wasn't like a movie that I had to just like see or have to watch right away. It was kind of just like, all right, it's coming out. It's not like
Right.
a huge deal for me.
Well, I guess it wasn't must see for you at that point.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm a huge fan. I love the first Bad Boys. First Bad Boys is probably one of my favorite action movies. Second one, no. No, I'll forget that movie though. That was in my except for maybe the car chase. There's the bridge scene in that movie. That was probably the best scene in the whole movie. Other than that, not a fan of that movie. What did you think about the past two titles?
I actually liked the second one better than the first one.
That's insanity.
But
No,
I
that's
thought
insanity.
they were both really good.
No, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, the first one's great. Second one, I don't know where you got that. Totally two different movies, in my opinion. But like I said, it's good to see Will Smith and Martin Lawrence back. Martin Lawrence coming out of retirement for this movie. He was actually retired previously to filming this. Uh, a good win for Will Smith, I think, coming back into this movie. Uh, yeah, I mean, it's good to see them back. They have great on screen chemistry. They did even in the second one, which I wasn't a fan of. The first one, of course, but both those films they had great chemistry, and they haven't really missed a beat as far as that. I would say at this point.
Yeah, I thought they worked very well together in all the movies, especially in this one. I felt like they kind of it felt like they were together for like a long time, as in like they've been partners for a long time, so they've been together. They even like equal each other out in ways.
Yeah, well, this one's interesting. It's so pretty much Marcus and Mike, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence they're confronting new issues at this point. I guess you could argue they're both having a form of a midlife crisis at this point. Martin Lawrence is ready to retire. Will Smith can't face the fact he's getting older, so he's having some issues with that. Uh, a lot of this has to do with a new team that's created. There's a team called Ammo that's created, featuring all these young up and comers, which are barely fleshed out, but we'll get into that. Uh, the centers around that, and also the fact that now it seems like that the police are being hunted down by a Miami drug cartel. This woman and her son are hunting down and killing cops, and Will Smith seems to be the target for whatever reason in these movies. But you know, interesting concept. Um, nah, it
Yeah.
was all right. Nah, I'm just messing with you. But before we get into anything serious, I'll let you guys know there is going to be spoilers in this video. So if you want to go check out the movie beforehand, and then come back to the video, or if you don't care, feel free to hang out with us and finish the rest of it. But we are going to get into definite spoilers here. Uh, the big thing with this movie, it seems like they want to push family. It felt like a Fast and the Furious movie at times where they're trying to push the whole family dynamic. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't think it was successful in that regard. Uh, the plot is very choppy at times. I think you said earlier when we had talked a little bit about it that you felt like it was in three parts. Is that what you were
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, I feel like they had like it was definitely broken up into three different parts, as in like the first part of the movie I thought was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The middle was kind of lackluster, and
Right.
the end was really good.
Right.
I felt like there was like it almost seemed like it was complete, like it all worked together, but it
Right.
kind of just you could see that it was in parts, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely felt disjointed at times. The movie begins with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. They're rushing through the streets to get to the hospital because Martin Lawrence's daughter is having her baby, which was a fun scene. Cool action scene. Cool, like what are they rushing to? Another big crime scene. No, it's actually just that. And then later on, they're celebrating, and Will Smith is shot by an unknown assailant. He gets gunned down, almost dies. He's in critical condition. Eventually, he recovers with Martin Lawrence deciding at that point it's time to retire, seeing what happened to Will Smith. I guess you could argue made him face his mortality at that point. And, he makes a promise to God that, oh, okay, if he gets out of this, I'm going to retire and, I'm done. No more being a bad boy.
Yeah,
But Will Smith,
no more killing people.
but Will Smith, can't letting anything down, has to go seek out what happened to him. And, with the new young group and everything like that, he's out there trying to find out what happened to him. The twist in this movie, I feel like, wasn't earned. In my regard, there's only 2 scenes in this whole movie that even allude to what the twist is. Again, as spoilers do follow, the twist is the gunman ends up being Will Smith's son he never knew he had, apparently. I don't know what they were thinking with this twist. I get it, trying to show Will Smith, have family and be. There's other ways to have done it. I don't think it was very successful that way. There's 2 scenes, and again, I challenge anyone in the comments. If they know more than 2 scenes that they alluded to this, please come at me with that. I'd love to hear it. There's a scene in the beginning where Will Smith is talking to Martin Lawrence and he says to him, I only loved one woman. Okay, sure, whatever. They're talking about love, getting all heavy-handed and everything. And I only loved one woman. Okay, whatever. It was kind of throwaway, honestly. I wasn't really paying attention. And then he has a phrase in Spanish he says later on, too. There's a female lieutenant who's the head of AMMO who he's friends with, and they have a relationship, will they, won't they, thing going on. And he says there's this phrase in Spanish, and it ends up, that phrase in Spanish is said by the boy, and the boy can only know that because the woman he loved knew the same phrase, and it was a made-up word. Oh my God, reveal! Shocking. No, sorry. It was just like, it was so throwaway. It was just like, it's like you literally took like dental floss and you like stringed your plot together in this movie. I'm sorry, that was just not earned in any capacity. And a lot of it hinges on that. I feel like a lot of, not the whole movie, but the big twist. They were, it felt like they were really, whoever was in the writers' room was really proud of that. It was like, wow, look what I did. I tied this together. But yeah, that would be like one of my major complaints with this movie. It's just, no, I'm sorry. That didn't do anything for me. You could have kept, the whole revenge thing, simple plot, you could have put the mother away and whatever. She wants revenge and, that's fine. Didn't have to have a son going after him.
I also thought it was weird though, like, so she breaks out of prison.
Right.
But they never mentioned that ever again.
Yeah, it's just kind of random.
Like nobody's ever looking for her. Nobody's trying to find her. She's just out of prison and everything's good now.
Yeah, and like I feel like I mean like Will Smith, all these the whole thing is the mother and son, the son's killing people that were tied to putting his mother in prison, and they want Will Smith to see what happened. They want him to see all these people he cared, who helped him put the mother in prison get killed. And it was like,
which he doesn't even realize till like the very, very end.
I feel like dude, you got all these like high tech, they have a high tech group, they have a group looking into this and scouring the internet to figure out what's going on in the police records. You can put that together a little sooner, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's just me. But like I said, things I liked about the movie, the action I thought was really great for the most part. Some wonky CGI, especially towards the end with some fire. Wasn't too fan of that, and some scenes where Martin Lawrence and Will Smith were clearly CG'd in there. There's some CG stunt doubles going on there. They are getting up in age, as the movie likes to remind us. But yeah, you can tell that wasn't them. But yeah, I like the action. There were a lot of good set pieces, a lot of cool action scenes. I could see all the action. That was a big thing for me. I could see everything, everything was clear. There was no shaky cam like in Bad Boys 2 where I couldn't make out a goddamn thing that was going on. The camera was flying all over the place. It was like, God, just study the cam, man. Let me see it. Let me see what's happening. I don't even know what happens
a lot. It happens a lot in action movies now, too.
Way too much in movies.
Shaky cam.
Yeah. But again, that was great. I did like the new recruits there's a group called, again, like we said earlier, Will Smith, he goes and helps. There's a group called AMMO that's formed within the police department, and it's these new young and up and comers who, they're a special unit essentially to solve the harder cases. I thought they were good. They weren't fleshed out. I mean, they were
No.
literally were stereotypes. Uh, Maybe if a sequel got greenlit, I think that's where we would see maybe more development. The movie,
I would
the
I would
movie,
hope at
again, the
least.
movie wasn't about them, so I can kind of see the fact that they were kind of left in the background as background characters. But at the same time, you're trying to push this whole family dynamic and working as a group, and you didn't flesh out the people that are working with you in the group. That seemed kind of like a missed opportunity. But everyone did fine. I wouldn't say anyone was bad. You know,
No, I thought they were I thought they were like decent. You know.
yeah. I mean, they acknowledge that they're I mean, Will Smith says to the one guy, "Oh, you're the guy. You're the smart ass guy. There's always one guy." It's like you literally just called him a stereotype. Good
Like
job.
they kind of just served their
They
role.
moved the
Like
plot. They were plot devices. They moved it. Man, they were the characters of get all the people in there. You got a woman, you got a person of color, you got a big strong nerdy white guy who doesn't like to fight. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. It's just
still,
you're filling a quota.
I feel like he's still my favorite character though.
Yeah, I know
The white
you
nerdy
like
guy.
the big white nerdy guy who had he actually had an interesting backstory. I mean, I'll give it that he's the only one that had a backstory. I think
That's true.
he had one line of dialogue that said like why he was the way he was, and you're like, all right, I guess that was enough for you.
Yeah,
That's all your
but you
character
could
development.
you could kind of understand though. Like after that one thing, you're
You
like, oh, all
understand
right.
it, but
No, I understand.
I could care less about him. But whatever, it's fine. But like I said, they were fine overall. I don't think they were bad. Again, if a sequel rolled around, I think that would be fine. They definitely hinted at sequel bait at the end of the movie. Will Smith, his son doesn't die. It ends up they have this big fight, and I think it's Mexico that they fight, and
Yes.
the mother dies. She gets killed, but she reveals, he is your father. And he's like, you're not my papa. And, I am. He is my papa. Is it true? And then she falls in a flaming helicopter. Yes, there's a flaming helicopter. A bunch of craziness. Again, he arrests his son. His son's in prison at the end of the movie, and he just walks in and he says, "I got a job for you, and I think I can get you out of here." And it's like, oh, well, there we go. Fast and the Furious family.
Bad Boys 4 coming to theaters soon.
I would even argue it really loves Fast and the Furious. There's literally at the end of every Fast and the Furious movie, I think there's a barbecue, right? Isn't there? Like, and at the end of this movie, there's literally a party like slash barbecue going on. Like, oh god damn it, here we go again. I was waiting for Vin Diesel to walk out and be like, "I got a job for you."
Wait, what you didn't hear? They said they hired Vin Diesel as the babysitter.
It wouldn't even surprise me. He's the pacifier. Right?
He's the pacifier now.
It was crazy, but the main thing, if there's any takeaway from this, from as far as a positive, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are still great after all these years. I mean, I think the last one we were talking about this earlier too, was in 2003. All right, Bad Boys 2 is in 2003. It's 2020 as of this video right now. That's a long ass time for a movie. That took a long time. I mean, one of the actors even went into retirement and came out of retirement for this movie.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see. They didn't. They were still super cops, but they weren't too super of cops. They were feeling their age. They tried to play with that. But their back and forth is great. There's a scene where another funny thing I think actually I want to talk about was the woman Will Smith had the son with. She was a witch, apparently. I like how that was like randomly thrown in, and they make the joke about it. Like, so you banged a witch? Why don't you wear a condom? And
When you bang a witch, you gotta wear a condom.
And the best part, I literally was bawling laughing at the end. I think it was after like that end credit scene. There's a scene where like they show I guess there was a scene with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence were on a plane. And there's this guy that they're going back and forth with, and they're swapping seats, and the guy's like almost getting really uncomfortable. But there's a scene at the end that they show it finally. Martin Lawrence goes like sits in his seat like this, and he's like, "Now, would you bang a witch without a condom?" And the guy's like, "Absolutely not, absolutely not."
I like when he was talking to the one guy on the plane, and then he goes to Will Smith. He goes, "You really gonna kill your kid?" And you see the guy kind of just look at him like, all right, now anything this guy says, I'm out of here.
Yeah, there's like a family, and he's like, mind your own. This is why you need to mind your own business. But again, I thought the jokes landed for the most part. I mean, there's a little bit of cringe here and there, but what comedy doesn't? That's very subjective. Yeah. I thought they have great chemistry. The moments that need to feel, I felt. The moments that made me laugh, definitely made me laugh. What about you? Did you have any other positive things that you wanted to add that you thought were that stood out?
No, you pretty much. You
Yeah,
pretty much covered them all. I felt like the action scenes were good.
yeah,
Um, it was also interesting, like you were saying before, with the cop that died, the
right.
chief. That was like a good, like you liked the way how he stole the show
Yeah, Joe
and stole the
Pantoliano.
movie.
Yeah, I mean, I've loved him in all the other movies, and he's the angry captain who's always screaming. And he did die in this movie. The captain died, but he had a really touching scene, I thought, with Will Smith, and it came across really strong. The band don't get enough credit. That was good. That was good. I liked it. It moved the plot along logically. It wasn't out of place. It was sad to see that character. You felt it in Will Smith. Will Smith doing some good acting there. It's been a while since I've seen Will Smith
Yeah,
actually
really.
act.
I don't remember the last movie I saw him in either. Been a while.
Was Suicide Squad? I'm sure there was something after, but that's like the most memorable thing I think I saw him in.
That's true.
But yeah, no, I
I
mean
always
again,
forget he's in that movie.
yeah, but Joe Pantoliano, good to see you back. Got sad to see you go, but good to see But again, I thought this was good. It was a good
Yeah.
movie. I definitely recommend it. I feel like you feel the same way. Would you recommend this to the viewers so they check it out? Do you think? Or
Yeah, I would definitely check it out, watch it,
yeah, I would check it
get
out.
your
It's good. Yeah,
get your own opinion on it. But
yeah. Like I said,
yeah,
especially if you like action, I think this is definitely a fun free movie. It's not. I wouldn't say it's as silly as Fast and the Furious has gotten. It's just there for me. It's not as rough and raunchy maybe as Bad Boys, the franchise is known to being. But at the same time, I think it hit a happy middle, right? I would say,
yeah,
but it hit a happy middle. Uh,
definitely.
my only negative, like I said, I'll reiterate, my only negative with the movie is definitely that twist plot is just out of nowhere and silly and kind of useless. Uh, it's in there. It is what it is. It's hokey, but whatever. Overall, I don't think it affects the movie. If anything, you're watching it more for the interactions between just Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
Yeah, pretty much so.
Yeah. So we're gonna give this our final grade. The real movie guys. Our official grading system is letter grading system. Try to listen to our reviews. We'll try to match our score the best we can with a letter grade. John, what is your letter grade going to be for this movie?
I go with this movie. I'd give this movie a B.
A B?
A solid B.
All right. Well then, my letter grade is
Dun dun dun.
B. No, I agree with you. It's a B. It's middle of the road. I don't even say it's middle of the road. It's a little above average. I enjoyed it. I'd
Yeah.
watch it again. I actually did watch it twice for this review. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I had a good time. Again, if you like mindless action and just want to see some guys, cracking some jokes and reliving the glory days, it's a great movie. Is it better than the other bad? Is it better than the first Bad Boys? Absolutely not. Better than the second? John may not agree, but yeah, it's pretty much the sequel. Just watch 1 and 3 and you're fine. Skip 2, you wouldn't miss a thing. But anyway, John, tell the ladies and gentlemen at home where they can find us.
Well, first, we would like you to like our video, subscribe to our channel, and you can find us on Twitter at TheReelMovieGuys, and you can find us on Facebook in our group, The Real Movie Guys.
And don't forget to like, subscribe. Make sure you hit that little notification bell so you can catch up all our upcoming videos. We're going to try and be on a more consistent schedule with some uploads. We got a lot of things coming for you. It's going to be hard for us to get to the theaters because, well, at this point, we're in, May right now. No one's going to the theater, so we're going to rely on video on demand. And
They're closed.
it's coming out on Blu-ray, 4K. Maybe those will be some reviews. We'll actually review the actual, discs that come out for you guys. See if it's worth your
Yeah.
time. Just throw some ideas. Leave us some thoughts in the comments. What you want to see. If there's an older movie, newer, something new you want to make sure we talk about at least, let us know in the comments. We're experimenting with all kinds of content. Reviews are a good way for you guys to get to know us and our opinions, so that's something we're gonna work with for a little bit right now. But like I said, my name's Kevin. This is my buddy John over here. We'll catch you next time in the next video. Again, we're the Real Movie Guys. Real guys, real movies, real thoughts. We'll see you next time.
See ya.